Salutations, kings and queens, and welcome back to the Electric Leaf. I wanted to come to you all today to talk about emotional triggers. I'm in the field today. I'm out here riding around in my spaceship, and when I'm out here like this and I'm reflecting, I take the time while I'm in my spaceship to self-reflect, to do a lot of self-reflecting. And as I self-reflect on my position in the world. And also, I love to reflect on myself through my relationships. That's how I see my position in the world. I reflect on my relationship with my mom, my dad, my sister, my daughter, my friends, my beloved, my work, my position as a spiritual counselor. And as I go through those reflections, I think about how I've been spiritually or emotionally triggered. You know, emotional triggers, they are our activators. That is how we know, we're alive. Spiritual triggers, we're all spiritually triggered. We're all emotionally triggered. But when those emotional triggers arise, we have to remember that they're not just emotions or things happening to us, it's happening for us. Anything can trigger us. We're triggered all the time, and we don't always know when we're triggering others, but we're all part of this grid, this grand, universal, big thing, this thing that's more grand than us, and we're all playing our part in it. And so as I sit here and reflect on that, I think about how, a lot of times anything can trigger us, from an aroma. Someone can waft past you and you smell something and you're just like, wow, I remember when so-and-so used to wear that cologne and he used to do such and such. Or someone can say something and it can just make you feel like, oh my gosh, it just bring you back to a memory, and you just think internally, I wish they would stop saying that. It's making me think this way. I wish they would quit doing that. It's making me feel this way. Or I don't ever want to eat that food again because I remember when that was the only food I was able to eat, and it'll take you back to a place of poverty or whatever the case may be. We're all triggered all the time. But, through our emotional triggers, we realize our spiritual gifts. Our spiritual gifts are activated and awakened through those triggers. I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe, and I don't always agree with everything that he says, but I respect him because he understood his divinity. He understood who he was in this grand scheme of things. He understood who he was in God. He understood his divinity. And I remember he said once that once you find something that angers you to the point of fighting for it to the death, then you found your life's purpose. And that is what spiritual triggers come to do. Emotional triggers come to point us towards our life's purpose, our life's mission. So I know, like, for a lot of people are triggered when I wear wigs and weaves. And I like to wear wigs and weaves. So for one thing, I'm not going to be able to stop wearing wigs and weaves because I like it. Maybe I'm channeling my inner Nefertiti, or I don't know. But either way, I like that. It's a fun aspect. But those who are triggered by it to the point of anger, there may be something there for you. There may be a space in there where you actually, your life's purpose might be linked to helping Black women to understand their beauty on a deeper level. Their beauty, or to make them feel appreciated in this world. in a world where it seems like black women aren't appreciated, or it may be something deeper there for you. But for a lot of women, and for me, I'm a Cancerian woman, for a lot of women and people in general, we tend to, when we see someone suffering, or when we see someone in pain, or when we see someone upset, we tend to want to eat or absorb that person's karmic debt, because we don't want to see them suffer. We don't want to see them in pain. We don't want to see them get upset. But that's not our position, okay? Because then we end up with carrying a whole bunch of emotional baggage, and then we wonder why do we have so much emotional baggage? And it's because we have to stay in our lane. We have to stay in our own divinity, stay in our own God essence, and allow God to flow through us and live our best life, enjoy our lives, okay? And if what we love to do is triggering someone else, then we've got to remember that those triggers are actually helping someone else to discover who they are in God, who they are in their own divinity, in their own birthright. Because you see, we all come together and work together to form this grand thing that's way bigger than us. I know for me, I practice being I practice being emotionally triggered. I'm subscribed to a lot of YouTubers that I don't necessarily agree with them. I don't agree with their philosophies, and I don't agree with their perspectives. But the reason why I've subscribed to them is because I like to be able to hear another person's perspective that is completely different from mine, and respect it, and stay in ma'at, and stay in peace, and stay in the vibration of love and respect for those. And it's really, really helpful. It's a really helpful exercise to go through as a spiritual counselor and a spiritual advisor. It allows me to stay anchored and grounded in who I know that I am. And so when I am spiritually triggered or emotionally triggered, I go through a healing exercise where I ask myself questions, a series of questions, and I ask myself, why is this eliciting such a strong and powerful emotion? Why do I feel angry? Why do I feel such sadness? Why? Why do I feel such happiness? Why do I agree so much with this person? And a lot of times I find that it goes down to a root of my own belief. It goes down to the root, the base chakra, the root of experiences that I've had. And a lot of things I've realized, some things serve me and some things don't. And I've realized these things through being emotionally triggered. Emotional triggers come to activate our spiritual gifts, our superpowers. So a lot of times the people who trigger us the most, the people who get on our nerves the most, are some of our most beautiful soulmates, because they come to show us a perspective that we might not have ever seen before if it had not been for that person that is so different from us, that comes along and encourages us to see things from a different way. I know that a lot of times when we are triggered in a negative way, or when someone triggers us and makes us feel uncomfortable, or we allow them to make us feel uncomfortable, we tend to shy away from them, or push away from them, or, oh my goodness, let me get up out of here because I can't stand her. Oh, let me leave that person. Oh my gosh, I can't stand the way she talk. I can't stand the way she walk. I don't like the way she look. It's just something about her. I don't like her. It's just something about them. I don't like them. Let me get on up out of here. But a lot of times, when we do that, we're actually slapping away the hand of God. We're denying our own God. We're denying our own selves. We're denying our own divinity. We're denying our own reflection. We're denying ourselves the opportunity to ascend, to expand. We're denying ourselves the opportunity to see things from a new horizon. And so I encourage you, don't shoot the messenger. Be thankful for the message. Be thankful that you're being triggered, because I can assure you that that space that you don't want anyone to touch, that you don't want you don't want that space to be agitated. You don't want anyone to stir your emotional reservoir. I can guarantee you, I promise you, that there's something there. There's something powerful there for you if you allow it to be cultivated, if you allow yourself to see yourself from a different perspective, if you allow yourself to go there with yourself, to dive into that space of yourself. I promise you, you have a spiritual gift there. You have a superpower there. It's something immaculate there for you if you allow yourself to go there without being taken over by your emotions. So, family, I just wanted to come to you all with that really quickly today. I'm almost to my next client's house. I just really wanted to come to you with that because I feel that someone needs to hear it. If something is triggering you, angering you, saddening you, if something makes you feel like, oh, I'm not even going to deal with that. I'm not even going to deal with them. But it stays on your mind. It's something there for you. Don't miss your blessing focused on the physical exterior of the messenger. Dive into the message. Allow yourselves to be triggered. Allow yourselves to be activated. I say all the time that human touch is activation. Okay? Touch is more than physical. Touch is vibrational, people. It's vibrational. You know that. When people are far away or whether or not they're close, the vibration of knowing them or feeling the connection, it touches us. It activates us. It wakes us up. It helps us to remember our own divinity. It helps us to feel good, like, oh, we're connected to others, and we are. But we're connected to more than the people that we love. We're connected to the people that irritate us as well. And a lot of times those that irritate us are bringing us the biggest gifts and the biggest blessings if we allow ourselves to see it and receive it. If we allow ourselves to go into receiving mode. Sometimes our financial blockages are there because we don't allow ourselves to receive on a grander scale. We don't want to receive messages from those that we don't like. When in actuality, God is all. God is love. And love doesn't always taste like a teaspoon of sugar. Sometimes it tastes like chaparral. That's just a little herbalist joke for you. But anyway, I love y'all. And as always, continue to vibrate love and vibrate well.